Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our gold and silver technical analysis update. We'll go through the dollar, the 10-year yield, precious metals, and the ETFs and individual companies. Again, this is just my financial opinion. Please don't use it as advice. And we'll jump right in here. We'll let the charts do the talking. We got the DXY dollar index. Yeah, it was up a little bit today, but again, we're running into these candlesticks at the top here. There's a lot of resistance up in this area. You can tell that we're running into that resistance, and that's why those wicks of the candlesticks, every time we go up there, we sell back off. So there's a lot of resistance as we move up into this region of price. I do think that it may head a little bit lower if that selling pressure continues. Looking at the 10-year yield, we were up 2.65% on the 10-year yield. That 10-year yield continues to climb. I thought it was going to climb today, and it did. I think that pressure to go higher, the inflation out there and people selling bonds, we'll see if that will continue and head higher here. But the downtrend line of this massive pattern is broken to the upside. We've got an inverted head and shoulders, and I would suspect that yields would continue to go higher, especially with the real negative yields that we have going on. So that's what we're seeing, and I would suspect higher yields. Unless someone steps in there and does some buying, does some yield curve control. Gold's looking good on a daily perspective. I'm hitting the 1 year on this. We were up about $5. Nothing really to write home about, but we are breaking to the upside of this pattern. We're right there at the top end. Let's see this thing break. I'd really like to see this break. I'd say 1870 and close above it for a higher high. That's what I'd really like to see. So 1870, that's what we want to break out and close above. For silver, we were down a little bit. 15 cents is what I'm seeing here. This is a breakout and then a retest with little wicks at the bottom. I think that we'll head higher here in the short term. That's what it looks like to me. With these wicks at the bottom here, these little wicks. You have an opening price here. It came down, and then we got bought back. We got bought back up, and this is providing support. We've got big buying pressure, small selling pressure. This is most likely going to head higher here at any second. Platinum's got the same thing going on. Big buying pressure, small selling pressure. I'm waiting. Hopefully we see a huge day any second here. Maybe tomorrow, maybe towards the end of the week. But I'm hoping to see a big candlestick, maybe another bullish engulfing where we open lower and buyers come in and buy it all up and we move higher. The XAU to gold ratio looks like we've got a bullish engulfing pattern. I think that a lot of the companies look really good, and you'll see which ones I'm talking about. But this one looks fantastic from a ratio perspective. This looks like we are going to have the gold and silver index or mining companies outperform gold itself. And that's what I'm looking for. And that's what we want to see. We want to see that outperformance. Karora Resources, yeah, again, we've got a small little down day today, but we've got the big buying pressure, small selling pressure. This looks like the buyers are in control, and we're going to head higher at any point. Endeavor Silver putting in a bullish piercing pattern next to a hammer pattern. I would say this is most likely going to head higher and that we've got good support underneath it. So that looks good. SilJ putting in a bullish engulfing next to a hammer pattern. This is about as bullish as you guys are going to get. I would be a buyer down here immediately. That's what I would be doing, is buying. GDX is also putting in a buy signal of a bullish engulfing next to a hammer pattern. It looks really good to move on up. Metallic minerals, a little bit of a down day today, minus 2.97. When zooming out a little bit on this pattern here, we are doing a back test. It's coming up. If you guys like a more, I would say, a highly leveraged silver exploration play, you might want to look at metallic minerals. It's in a good spot. I would be a buyer here. Koya Resources going up 10.3%. Again, and this thing looks good. It looks like it's putting in a bottom, ready to go higher. So that looks good. Discovery Silver. This is a lower grade, lots of tonnage for silver, and I think it's highly leveraged to the price of silver. So if you want something that's got some leverage to the price of silver, this might be one to look into. It's a little bit below its pattern, broke to the downside, but we'll see if we can get some upward momentum here. First Majestic, bullish piercing pattern. What that means, a bullish piercing is when you open lower, you get bought back up, and it closes about the 50th percentile of the day before it. So this is a hammer pattern with a bullish piercing, which is a reversal pattern to go up on the short term. Newmont Corporation, still looking okay. Nothing really to say there. It looks okay. Mag Silver, we've got the opening and closing price coming back down. We've got a hammer candlestick next to it. I would be a buyer down here if it were me. Yamana Gold, it is a hammer pattern yesterday. We got a bullish engulfing today. I think we're heading higher. I would be a buyer right in here, right now. Impact Silver, zooming in here, nice good bullish engulfing pattern. I think we're heading higher. It looks good. Same with Aftermath Silver, bullish engulfing where the opening and closing price, just to show you, engulfs this stuff before it. So that's what I'm looking for right there. It's engulfing these guys before it, especially the day before it, and it's going to go probably higher in the short term. Arcana Gold, or Arcana Silver, I always say gold, I don't know why. Bullish piercing, probably a little bit of an update today. I'd like to see a little bit more buying pressure in it. I don't really have too much of a comment here. Platinum Group Metals, we are right down at that support zone. We need to get some buyers to step in here and push this higher. It's a smaller opening and closing price than yesterday. Yesterday was a hammer pattern. We came up, we came back down, and usually this is a good spot to be looking to purchase. That's where I would be a buyer. Sandstorm Gold putting in a bullish engulfing pattern. This looks like it wants to go higher. We are right at this big long-term support line for Sandstorm Gold. I would be buying it and riding this thing higher. It looks really good. That's one that I would seriously do some considerations into buying right now. Franco-Nevada's holding on. It's got a bullish engulfing as well. Most likely going to head higher in the short term. EMX is kind of just sitting there going sideways. It's waiting for gold, I think, to make a big breakout. Teuton Resources firming up 5.26%. It's been chopping sideways over the last good while here. If I were to zoom out, you can kind of see that that's the line we want to break, guys. We break that, we are moving. So we've got a little bit of a contraction here. If you kind of look here as well, where we're coming up. We're coming up in this zone here, and I think we're getting close to a break. So that looks really good for a move. If gold breaks to the upside, I think Teuton Resources will have a nice good move. Hopefully it's as leveraged to the price of gold as I'm hoping it is. And Wheaton Precious Metals is looking good. It's hanging in there, bullish engulfing. I'm looking for a move higher. Gold Royalty, this guy's it's coming. It broke to the downside. But I find it very hard to believe if gold were to break to the upside that this would not go with it. Metalla Royalty, MTA, bullish engulfing. Looking at this guy from kind of zooming out a little bit on the dailies. But this thing looks really good right here. I'd be a buyer, pick some up. MMX, this is Mavericks Metals. It's just chopping sideways. Doesn't look too bad. Probably going to head higher soon. Royal Gold, it's holding on above its support line, and I'd like to see it move on up. And then we've got Osisko Gold Royalties just chopping sideways. It's right at its support line. Up to you on what you want to do there. But overall, it looks pretty good. Doesn't look too bad. For the sector, I would be a buyer in a lot of this stuff. That's what I would do. Hopefully, gold can break out of its pattern and move on up. If it does, I think the majority of these companies are going to follow. So I am a holder. I own a lot of these. I like the royalty companies a lot, guys. I really do. I think you get a lot of the upside without the downside risk. That's kind of how I view it. If they're a little bit more expensive, so be it. I'll pay that little more premium for it. If you guys like the analysis, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.